It is your birthright and your divine duty to stand out, Leo. But I bet you didn't need me to tell you that. Hey, I'm Madeline. Welcome to Zero's Journey, Leo. Thanks for coming for your August reading. I'm very curious to get into the story of your month and see where you're headed. But first, we got to talk about your mission statement, your personal navigation system delivered from spirit. I like a cat popping up in the background during the Leo reading. It feels like a good sign. So, in August, Leo, you are meant to embody the qualities of your inner outlaw. And this is where Spirit was saying it's your birthright and your divine duty to stick out, to stand out. Do you speak nerd, Leo? If I were to tell you that you're not lawful good, you're chaotic good, how would you receive that? Okay, for those of you who don't speak nerd, please don't feel bad. So in games, I think originally this was developed specifically for Dungeons and Dragons, but in any kind of like role play games where you develop your own character, right? You design your own character and then your character goes and operates within the plot of a story. So when you're designing your character, one of the things you decide is where you fall on this grid of good, neutral, and evil. And then there's lawful, chaotic, whatever. I'm not going to go into all of it. But basically, you could be lawful good where it's like Boy Scout, where it's like, if you tell me that these are the rules, I will not break these rules. Or you can be chaotic good, where it's like, well, why is that rule a thing? Like, oh, they stole something. Well, why did they steal? What's the context? Like, are they starving? Did a mother steal for her child? That's very different than, you know, some rich boy stealing something because he wants to get his rocks off. You know what I'm saying? So, this month you are meant to embody the chaotic good, the rebel with a cause, the willingness to stick out for good reasons. You know what I mean? Because we can, there's unbalanced outlaw and there's balanced outlaw, right? And in this deck that I pulled the card from is Threads of Fate. Beautiful deck, highly recommend. And in the book, the description talks about how you can be balanced or unbalanced. And you can think of an unbalanced outlaw as someone who kind of just wants to stick out for the sake of sticking out, like maybe create chaos for the sake of like, I'm bad, I'm different, I'm a rebel, I'm not like you, or whatever. And then there's balanced outlaws where it's like, I know why I'm standing up and shouting out. I'm a see something, say something person. And you know, this is very specific, but what Spirit was bringing up for me, ooh, Leo, oof, this is a little intense and heavy, and these are general readings, of course, Leo, so some of this is going to resonate, some of it's going to be like, nope, that's for some other Leo. But what I'm actually hearing and what Spirit brought up for me when I pulled this card for you before we got started was sometimes we see things that feel off. Like, you know, we're in the airport or whatever and we see like a young girl with like a much older man and they don't really seem to be having like a father-daughter type dynamic or something. A lot of us will see something and maybe go, and then we move on because we don't want to make waves, because human biologically speaking, like we have evolved to conform, to stick with the village, to make sure that like we're not doing anything out of line, out of sorts, out of whack, not making waves, not throwing anything off. We're keeping the equilibrium, right? But it is those people that see something like that and go, no, maybe that is her dad. Maybe they're just fine, but I feel weird, so I'm gonna go talk to the stewardess or the flight attendant or whatever. Like, I'm gonna go say something to somebody, or I'm gonna call an authority and say something, or, you know, I don't like the way, maybe you're a teacher in a school and it's like, this child, something's wrong. I just feel it. And yeah, I could just let this go by because I don't want to make trouble for them or for their parents or for whatever, myself. But it doesn't feel right, so I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I know, like I said, that was very intense, Leo, but that's what Spirit brought forward. And here's part of why they brought it forward. What they were saying was like, there is a reason that Leo people, they're ruled by the sun. They often, they shine, right? And part of that shine is that Leos so often idolize heroes and want to be brave, you know what I mean? And courageous and good. And Spirit is reminding us that oftentimes what comes with being courageous and good and heroic is making trouble where maybe there was no trouble before, where maybe people were able to do their little bullshit without any problems, but like, hey, now I'm here, you got problems. That's what Spirit is saying. So let's get into your reading. Let's get into the rest of this. Like I said, that was extremely intense, but Leo, being the outlaw can also look like activism. It can look like calling out, you know, like the emperor has no clothes. Why are we doing this? Like, this is stupid, or this is wrong, or whatever. So, being a voice for the perhaps the voiceless or the marginalized, it would be a beautiful thing for you to tap into. Always, but particularly in August. Okay, let's see how this energy plays into the story of your reading, Leo. Leo in the month of August. Spirit. Whoa. Okay. What do Leos need to know in the month of August for their highest good? For their highest good, Spirit. Leo. Leo Sun. Leo Moon. Leo Rising. Leo Dominant people. Spirit. What do Leos need to know? Leo. For their highest good. Leo. Leo Sun. Leo Moon. Leo Rising in the month of August, Spirit. Woo! Okay. Perfect. Okay. For Leo, Spirit. What do Leos need to know for their highest good? Changes. You feeling it, Leo? Wow. Okay, so first things first, I'm curious how many of you might have any Cancer placements. Cancer, Moon, Rising, Sun, Dominant, anything, personal planets. Okay. If you do, you might want to go and listen to that reading because I'm getting a little bit of overlap, so you might just get more details or more information, or, you know, weave the tapestry together a little tighter. So, I say that because here you are at the center of your reading. Oh, I'm so sorry, I almost called you Cancer because that's how Cancer-y this is. Leo, 10 of Wands. Wands are fire. It's your element, right? So, in a sense, you are in your element. That's what Spirit is saying. But boy, like, you're saddling yourself with a lot, and it feels like you need to simplify. Like, that's one of the big headlines is like, okay, what can I let go? And I'm just gonna jump right here because it's right here. Where you find yourself. 7 of Swords. What can I let go? What can I trim? Like, you know, this is fun. Okay, so I'm jumping all over your reading, Cancer, but this is the way Spirit's telling the story. So they're talking about trimming, right? And they're talking about the way we prune plants to actually encourage growth. They're saying that because crossing your 10 of Wands, the center, here is your persona card, Queen of Pentacles. Whenever we get a court card in our reading, it does indicate a human being that is in our midst, but also when we meet that human being that is the Queen of Pentacles, it is because they are meant to activate and resonate with an aspect of ourselves that is a Queen of Pentacles, right? So you can be anywhere on the gender spectrum and show up as a queen. It speaks of you being a nurturer, a creative type, a cultivator, whereas a king is more of like a manager, a conductor, like, you know what I'm saying? So, Pentacles, earth, plants, resources, time, energy, effort, money. Pruning in order to cultivate growth is something that the Queen of Pentacles would know all about. The Queen of Pentacles is super abundant, super generous, cares for the people around her, nurtures the people around her, very much you, Leo, and some of you may have Earth ascendants or Earth moons or something like that, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn rising or moon. Because I like how grounded. I like how grounded that energy is. It's like I said, 10 of Wands, you're in your element. It's just too much. Like, you're doing it. And you're doing it actually pretty gracefully compared to how other people might look trying to do what you're doing, but it's still too much. So that is just to say, pruning, if you don't know, if you're not a person who's into plants or gardening, when you prune a plant at the right time and in the right way, Leo, you actually, ironically, encourage that plant to grow fuller, to grow taller, to grow healthier. So there's like excess growth, right? Sometimes, like for example, I'm sitting next to a fiddle leaf fig, and it's actually time for my fiddle leaf fig to have a haircut. So this is a very valid conversation. These are big old leaves, right? And so they grow right on top of each other. Eventually, if they grow kind of unattended, the leaves start to shade each other, right? And then the leaves below can't photosynthesize. They start to get a little smaller. Things can get wonky or top heavy or start to tip over, right? If we're not like keeping our eye and keeping things cultivated, it's time to cultivate. And spirit's funny. They're like, you can't spell cultivate without cull, and cull is to, and that brings me to this fella. This is sitting on in the position of what's going on inside of you, a transformation, death, an ending. Very often death is depicted as holding a scythe. A scythe is what we use to harvest, right? Old school, like that big old like curved blade that we use to cull wheat. It's time to cull. It's time to cultivate. CULL-tivate. Seven of Swords, leaving things behind that aren't yours, trimming the plant, trimming the to-do list, trimming the hours. That's what Spirit said. So for some of you, it might be like, I need to work fewer hours, or I need to stop doing this job, or put away this aspect of a service I was doing because it's not paying off. Like, I'm gonna do better if I invest my time and energy and effort in other things. That's what Spirit is saying. So it's like, if you know that to be true, move toward that. Seven of Swords, like, cut your losses. Don't sit at the casino table because it's like, but I've invested so much and like, oh, I have so little left, I gotta put it all in. It's like, does that make sense though? If everything else you've put in hasn't really amounted to anything or hasn't given you the returns you wanted, do you really want to put your last dollar on this table, or do you want to keep that dollar that you do have and like go? You know what I mean? You could probably do something better with that dollar, is all I'm saying. Above your reading, mirroring that death card. Death and the Six of Swords actually go very beautifully and very naturally together. You know, death is death. It's an ending. It's a closed door. It's definitive. You know, like, we can't bring things back to life, right? Like, even genies and shit in movies, even magical people cannot just bring dead people back to life without terrible monkey's paw type consequences. If y'all know the story, then, you know, let me know. So, it's done. It's over. Seven of Swords, I've left what's not for me. Six of Swords, now I can move on free and clear. Clear mind, clear conscience. I'm only bringing the lessons. I'm not going to carry like the wounds and the struggle and the guilt and the whatever. I'm taking like, wow, here's what I learned from this job or this relationship or this place that I used to live. Moving on, leaving it behind, cutting my losses. What's sitting in the past? Seven of Wands, taking on too much. And again, like the Ten of Wands, Spirit is saying, you're a Leo, you're fire, you're in your element, you had the higher ground, you fought everybody off, like you've been contending with things and doing pretty well, but you don't want to be doing that. Like, long term, that fucking shit is tiring, right? Like, and we don't want to like run ourselves ragged. We really don't. So we're dropping some things. Energy around and available to you. Emperor. Emperor energy is that I'm gonna say, especially in this reading, I'm feeling like the positive aspects of like quote unquote patriarchy, right? The good qualities of a patriarch. So, you know, protective, strong, orderly, logical, like disciplined, right? Like those positive things. And then, you know, we can take it to the like extreme, and then it becomes like overbearing and constrictive and demanding and like lawful good, right? To the point of like, okay. But the Emperor knows about simplicity. That's what Spirit is saying. The Emperor is number 4. Like the way a square has 4 sides. Like, simple. These are the boundaries. These are the edges. Here's where my line is. What's your schedule like? What's your budget like? Like, are you feeling orderly and disciplined? Are the unsexy small steps that lead to the big up high sexy goal built into like your schedule, into your budget, into your day? Or do you have a little bit of like reorganizing to do? Again, this is where I say some of y'all might have some kind of Cancer placements or something, because I'm feeling there is somebody around and available to help you organize, or to help you like make sense of things or get things into order. So this could look like literally hiring an organizer to help you with your house. This could also look like, if you have a business, maybe booking a coaching call or something with someone who's going to help you make sense of things, get things in order, get your budget right, or get your schedule right, or whatever. Get some help. And maybe for some of you, the Emperor is not going to be like this human person. It could be like, you know what, I know that I need to get my schedule or my budget or my nutrition or my whatever together, and I need some rules for myself. So I'm going to go out and get a book, or buy a class, or book a program, or whatever, and get the like assistance and the guidance that I need to get what I want. Like, I say that in part because sitting in your future, 3 of Pentacles, the card of 2 heads are better than 1 and 3 heads are better than that. So it is the card of, yes, you are an artist, Leo. Yes, you are a star, but stars benefit from acting coaches, directors, editors, etc., right? And visual artists benefit from teachers, models, etc. Like, when we come together, when we, you know, like the triangle is the strongest shape there is, right? Like, and there's either like a team, an assistant, a helper, maybe more than one, that if you get together with them, you can build something pretty fucking incredible. Part of the reason I say that, I said I was going to be jumping around your reading. In the potential position for the month of August, beautiful. You start with the 10 of Cups, you could finish. You start with the 10 of Wands, you could finish with the 10 of Cups. 10 of Wands, overburdened, it's too much. Like, I have so many things on my plate and in my head that I can't even see where I'm going, really, or like how long it's going to take, or etc., etc. And then when you know, Spirit is saying it again. A burden shared is a burden divided. Joy shared is joy multiplied. So share, because no matter what you are sharing, you benefit from it, and so do the other people, Leo, because you're not going to be the type to just like, you know, cut and run, or like take and never give back. You're very into your heart center, right? Like, if they do for you, you do for them. And if you are a selfish or egotistical Leo who often finds yourself, you know, kind of ungratefully going about and taking things, I would say, let's correct that. All right. So 10 of Cups is available to you. Great love, overflowing gratitude and joy, and just like what Spirit is saying is like, how did I get this lucky? How did I get this lucky to have like friends like this, family like this, love like this, luck like this, etc., etc., etc. It's what everybody wants to see in their reading. And it is possible for you, like I said, the potential, it depends on what you do. And it's like, you know, getting a reading, the benefit of it is if you don't like where things are going, it's like, okay, so let's pivot right now so we can change this outcome, because your free will, your actions change everything, right? Perspective, actions, etc. So getting a reading can change your perspective or adjust your action or make you aware of something that then changes your behavior, right? And if you like where it's going, you can lean in. You can be like, oh, good, so do more of what I'm doing or whatever, like, or add this, like, great. And then I'm gonna get even more of what I want, or get there faster, or whatever. Well, Spirit is saying you will get where you are trying to go, not only faster, but more happily if you simplify and you ask for the help that you need. So cutting things off of your list, pruning the plant to encourage its true and healthy growth. The key, the conclusion, to let go of guilt, baggage, preconceived notions, and do what you know is right. The Fool and the Outlaw, actually, I would argue, have a lot in common. Like, oh, I'm not gonna do something just because everybody says that's why I'm supposed to do it. I'm gonna do it if I like think it's the right thing and feel like doing it. Fool. I ain't carrying that baggage for you, my dude. You can hang on to that. I'ma go do this. Looks like a fucking beautiful month, Leo. I'm very curious, you know, if you want to share, no pressure, but if you want to share questions, comments, stories about how this is maybe already playing out in your life or not, I would love to hear. And if you liked this, it so helps. Like, it helps so much to hit that like button or even that dislike button if you're like, no, I didn't like this or this didn't resonate. It also helps me get better at what I do. So I would very much appreciate it. And if you really liked it, subscribe. There's also stuff to do if you want to keep hanging out, if you want to chat, or if you want to get a personal reading, or if you want to get behind the scenes info about the channel and stuff. All of that is in the description. I appreciate you, Leo. Thank you for being here and listening until the end. You are the best. If I don't see you in one of the Sunday vlogs, then I am wishing you love and blessings until I see you in your September reading. Bye, Leo.